The entire snow worship cult camp was filled with gasps, cries, and laughter. The feeling of surviving a catastrophe was too intense. Although there were many people present who had experienced many battles, no one had ever experienced such a desperate battle. They could accept being beaten to death, but they were unwilling to face the pain of being eaten alive by zombies and giant rats. Xiao Honglian, however, forced herself to be energetic and said to everyone, "You can relax now. The wounded can come to me to get supplies. Everyone can sit down and rest on the spot, but be prepared for the battle. There may still be residual zombies and giant rats." Xiao Honglian reminded them, and several other forces followed suit. Everyone was so scared that they didn't even dare to relax completely when they rested. Zhou Ke hugged Zhang Yi tightly, and only then did she dare to breathe deeply. Even her chest was rising and falling violently. Zhang Yi felt this very clearly. Zhang Yi saw that many soldiers had dazed eyes. This battle tonight will definitely leave many people with unforgettable memories for a lifetime. Post-traumatic stress syndrome is also inevitable. I hope they won't wake up from their dreams in the future because of dreams of zombies. Liang Yue, Uncle Yu, Fatty Shu, and Flower gathered around Zhang Yi. The three of them kept in mind Zhang Yi's instructions, saying that they could exert their strength, but they had to conserve their energy so that they could escape at any time. So they were not injured. Uncle Yu did play with the bronze-armored corpse for a few times, but he had thick skin and flesh, and his self-healing ability was too strong, so he was now unscathed. It was unknown how long it had been. It seemed like a long time, or perhaps a few short minutes. At this moment, every second was extremely long for everyone. Zhang Yi looked at the entire battlefield. The group of soldiers they left behind to defend at the beginning had already died more than 80% of the time. The entire Tianhai city was completely destroyed after this battle. Especially in terms of combat effectiveness, the loss could not be simply described as tragic. However, if we really want to talk about the tragedy, it is not the major forces and Zhang Yi. It is the snow worship cult, because the war took place within their territory. At this time, even the crying sounds were so sporadic around, and there were about 5,000 followers in the church, and I am afraid that there are less than 1,000 left. No, there may not even be 500. However, this was not a bad thing for Zhang Yi. At least there were no casualties in their team in this battle. Zhang Yi looked around, with no extra expression on his face. Zhou Ke's voice suddenly came to his ears. "Zhang Yi, are you injured? Do you want me to help you?" Zhang Yi looked at the gentle female doctor next to him, and he couldn't laugh, so he just said, "No." Zhou Ke asked the others again, and everyone was fine. Zhou Ke tightened the strap of the medical box and asked Zhang Yi, "Can I go and see their injuries?" The ones she was referring to were naturally the survivors on the battlefield. At this time, although many people were alive, they had varying degrees of injuries. Zhang Yi did not refuse. At least now they are in the same camp. Moreover, after this battle, these major forces in Tianhai City will hardly form a large scale, let alone pose a threat to them. It is even possible that they will form an alliance to deal with the crises they may face in the future. Zhou Ke carried a medical box on her back, looking for the wounded on the battlefield, bandaging their wounds and injecting them with medicine. Her serious look and gentle and skillful technique made many numb soldiers burst into tears. They felt the warmth of people in Zhou Ke. This made them feel that they were still alive, not in hell. One after another, each family began to take their own supplies: food, medicine, bandages, blankets, military coats. Yuan Kongye walked out with the survivors in the church. In this battle, they were well protected. Although there were some minor incidents, no one was injured or killed. Yuan Kongye looked at everyone with compassion and then said to the survivors, "Go and help take care of them. They are all great warriors." Everyone also knew that it was not easy for them to survive, and they could not do without the desperate battles of the frontline soldiers. This also included Li Jian and his wife and Shu Beibei. As for Li Keili, his physical fitness had become very poor since that time, and he had not recovered, so he was left in the church. Li Jian looked at the Shura field in front of him and felt extremely painful. Most of the neighbors he brought to Snow Worship Sect had died in the zombie attacks. He inevitably had a look of self-blame on his face. Zhang Jianfang comforted him. "Don't be too sad. You have tried your best. In such an era, we can only survive day by day. It's not your fault." Li Jian sighed and walked over to help others carry the stretcher for the wounded. The girl Shu Bei was also active on the battlefield, bandaging the wounded and bringing them hot water to keep them warm. After a long time, Bian Junwu and his team came back. The 7 people looked a little embarrassed, not as calm and composed as before. Bailey Changqing supported Wu Di. Wu Di, who used to be arrogant, now had a pale face and his feet seemed to have no strength. Kong Sheng, a reinforcement ability user, had a bandage on his shoulder and one of his arms was twisted into a knot. He was obviously seriously injured in the battle. The 7 people were covered in blood, and their injuries were of varying severity. But they had a relaxed smile on their faces. But they succeeded. Zhang Yi walked over and asked Bian Junwu, "Have all the zombie kings been killed?" Bian Junwu still replied coldly, "There are 5 in total, all of them were killed by us. The bodies are in the car." "That's good." After getting Bian Junwu's affirmative answer, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. After losing the command of the Zombie King, no matter how many zombies are left in Tianhai City, they are just a mess. At least there is no need to worry about their large-scale activities like before. Zhang Yi thought about it, took out a few portions of supernatural food from the mutant space and handed them to Bian Junwu. "What is this?" Bian Junwu's tone revealed curiosity. Food made by mutants can help people restore their supernatural powers, physical strength, and mental state. Very useful. Zhang Yi smiled. Bian Junwu heard this and also showed a barely perceptible smile, but his smile was ugly. "It seems that you have a very good mutant with auxiliary functions." He took the food from Zhang Yi without being polite and then returned to the snowmobile with several team members. As for the others, they got the exact news that the Corpse King was completely destroyed, so they could relax and take a rest. Bian Junwu and his team were also observing. After confirming that there were no large-scale zombie tides in Tianhai City, they would return to the Jiangnan region to report. The 5 major forces today are probably not related to the word big. Their respective core combat forces lost more than 80% in this battle, and their strength was greatly damaged. Zhang Yi felt the most obvious, because the other families had been showing their goodwill to them during this period. Among the 5 major forces, Zhang Yi and his team suffered the least loss. So for a long time in the foreseeable future, Zhang Yi's team will be the most powerful force in Tianhai City. Xiao Honglian was the first to run over and express friendship with Zhang Yi. "Zhang Yi, although there were some unpleasantness between us in the past, but now Tianhai City is in tatters, and it's hard to say whether there are 10,000 living people. Can we be friends in the future? We can't afford the cost of war. If you need me, please just ask." Xiao Honglian extended her hand to Zhang Yi. She was heroic, and the way she commanded the army to fight bravely on the battlefield left a deep impression on Zhang Yi. Unlike the women around Zhang Yi, she is a very capable woman. Zhang Yi is a peace-loving person. If someone takes the initiative to come to show goodwill, he will certainly not refuse. Although there have been wars before, they were just for the competition for resources and did not involve personal grudges. So Zhang Yi shook hands with her and said with a smile, "I have always admired you for being able to lead a large force as a woman." He asked curiously, "I see that you are very skilled. Have you worked in the army or the police system before?" Xiao Honglian smiled faintly. "I am a superintendent in the criminal police team of Tianhai City Police Department." Zhang Yi smiled and said, "Sure enough, a heroine." His heart suddenly moved, and he looked at Xiao Honglian with a smile and said, "Doesn't that mean that you can master the information of each of us?" Xiao Honglian said generously, "Of course, I have all your basic personal information, but that is only limited to before the end of the world." Xiao Honglian waved at Zhang Yi and said, "I have one more step to go ahead. See you later." After Xiao Honglian left Zhang Yi thinking about her, I wonder if she can help me find some information about the snow worship cult. Suddenly, someone grabbed him from his shoulder. Zhang Yi now has mastered skills in close combat. He quickly grabbed the hand on his shoulder and put him down. Zhang Yi saw it was Wei Dinghai. He said, "Ouch, brother, it's me." Zhang Yi said, "Sorry, but what are you doing?" He was a middle-aged man in his 40s, and he was smooth and sophisticated. What young and promising and naturally handsome. "Zhang Yi, I wonder if you're interested in going out to sea. If you have time, I can take you overseas to see. There is a vast world there," Wei Dinghai invited enthusiastically. Zhang Yi thought of the vast sea and couldn't help but feel a little fascinated. But thinking that there might be more dangerous creatures under the vast ocean than on land, he shook his head decisively. "Compared to that, it would be more practical for you to give me some seafood." Wei Dinghai laughed and said, Okay, wait until we come back from the sea next time. I will bring you the freshest frozen seafood." Zhang Yi asked, "So many people died this time. Is it convenient to go out to sea?" The smile on Wei Dinghai's face faded a little. He lowered his head and sighed softly. "Most of the combatants died, but I still have some staff on the ship. With them, I can still go out to sea." Wei Dinghai then expressed the same idea as Xiao Honglian. "I won't say any more. If you are interested, you can contact me. I'm going to arrange the preparations for going out to sea first." Zhang was a little worried. Wei Dinghai, Xiao Honglian, and Zheng Yixian all want to win me over. I don't know whether it is a blessing or a curse. It seemed that the zombie attack was a good thing. Zhang Yi silently called Zhou Care over and asked her to get in the car with him. He had something very important to do. Zhang Yi reminded Fatty Shu and a few others to help him stand guard. "Don't let anyone who comes to find me get close. Do you understand?" Liang Yue's cold face flashed a strange look. She turned her head and snorted coldly. Liang Yue, Uncle Yu, and Fatty Shu were resting nearby. Liang Yue looked a little uncomfortable. She couldn't imagine that one day she would stand guard for others for such a thing. Uncle Yu was very open-minded. He smiled and said, "Zhang Yi is a young man after all. He has a strong firepower." Zhang Yi then got in the car, quickly closed the door, and pulled up the curtains. The car has its own sound insulation, so the sounds inside cannot be heard outside. When Zhang Yi got in the car, he saw Zhou Care had taken off her coat, sitting on the bed in a coquettish manner and leisurely crossing her legs. The look in his eyes was full of charm. Zhang Yi sat down next to her.